Wow. Superman and Lois is an amazing show, or should I say super, because this show is just so good. Like, I expected it to be good based off the trailers and everything, but it's even better than I thought it was going to be. Like, first of all, just the quality. You look at this, it just looks so good. It looks almost cinematic almost, and that's awesome because you don't see that a lot with CW shows. Usually it's not the greatest quality, but here you see it in full effect here with this bigger budget and just a great quality to this show. And I love everything that is going on here in this show, and I can't wait to see what happens in this season. But guys, we have a lot to talk about here, so spoiler warning if you haven't seen it yet. But we got to get into this and break this stuff down. So I love how we start off the episode with a kind of flashback intro. And, you know, a lot of times in superhero stuff with characters like Superman or like Spider-Man, people say, like, oh, that we don't need to see a retelling of the origin every single time. And, yeah, we don't need to, but I liked how this was just like a quick little kind of flashback montage here of all the big moments in Clark's life or Kal-El's life, like how he landed on Earth. He got picked up by Johnathan and Martha Kent. He was living in Smallville, having a great time, but then Johnathan died. And then after that, he decided to move to Metropolis, and that's where he got a job at the Daily Planet and met Lois. And then this is also where he became Superman. And I love how the suit he was wearing is the classic suit from the original Superman cartoon, like the OG very first Superman cartoon. That was an awesome callback and an awesome reference there. I mean, the suit looked ridiculous, and I mean, like, with the red underwear stuff and everything, like, that's just how it's gonna be. But that was an awesome callback, and I love seeing that. But then again, like I said, he met Lois, they fell in love, then they got married and everything. They had kids, they had twins. And then this is where we flash to present day, where we find out a little bit more about the twins, because Johnathan, of course, is the more athletic guy. He's the more outgoing guy, and he's always smiling, always having a good time. But then you have Jordan, who's the more problematic kid, because he's always throwing tantrums and stuff like that, not doing what he's supposed to. And just about a year before where we are at right now in the show, Jordan was actually officially diagnosed with social anxiety disorders. So clearly he's going through some stuff. And obviously, as we saw throughout the episode with him having his powers, I think they think that maybe that social anxiety disorder may have something to do with his powers. And I think that's an interesting twist on that. So I'm interested to see if that actually is the case or if it's just part of his human side. So that's pretty cool there. But Superman is called into action as a chemical plant or reactor type thing is going nuclear. It's having a meltdown. So Superman heads over there. And I love the quick thinking here. Like, you really see how smart Superman is, because he's like, all right, how can I cool this down? He goes out to the ocean, freezes it, takes a big chunk of ice, takes it to the nuclear plant, and then cools it down. And that was a really cool moment, because he didn't hesitate too much there. He just automatically knew, all right, I gotta do this. And I mean, like, saving nuclear plants is like a classic Superman thing, so he's probably had to do that like a bunch of times also. So yeah, I really like that moment. But then we get some nice interactions between Superman and General Lane as well. So that was really cool. But then Clark gets home, and Johnathan is now the starting quarterback at his new high school. So go Johnathan, star of the football team. That's pretty awesome for him. But for Jordan, he had a therapy session today, and Clark missed it. So he's got to go in and apologize to him. But when he does, first of all, Jordan's playing Injustice too. So that was another cool, quick Easter egg there. But he's not into it. He seems to be kind of upset about this, and it just doesn't go well. So then Clark calls his mom, or actually he had a missed call from her, so then he returns her call and everything. And I love this conversation. I've always loved the relationship between Clark and his parents, especially Clark and Johnathan, but, obviously he's dead. But his relationship with Martha doesn't really get explored too much, unless you count Batman v Superman with the whole Martha thing there. But I really like this conversation, and she keeps telling him, like, he needs to be present because he is Superman, and it is important that he's there to help out the world, but he also needs to be there for his kids and for his wife. So I love that moment, but then, this is when all of the tragedy strikes, because first of all, he and Lois go back to work at the Daily Planet, and we find out that Morgan Edge has now bought the Daily Planet. He's kind of taken over, and he's firing a bunch of people, including Clark. So now Clark has been fired from the Daily Planet, and then things get even worse. Like, as if things couldn't get worse than getting fired from your job, Clark gets a call from Dr. Fry, which another reference to, I believe, the Richard Donner movies. That was a character in there, so that's pretty cool as well. But Martha had a stroke, and she passed away. So, very sad. We knew this from the trailer, but, still sad to see. And then, obviously, the whole family has to go to her funeral in Smallville. And this is really where the big story kicks off here in Smallville. Because, at the funeral, or, like, after the funeral, we see that Lana Lang, Clark's past love from his years in Smallville, along with her husband Kyle Cushing and their daughter Sarah Cushing, who Jordan is really into. They're all there. We get some nice interactions between all of them. Like with Clark, he finds out that Martha made some sort of deal to help out the people in Smallville, because that's just kind of the kind of person she is. So now Clark has to make the choice to either pay for the rest of the farm or accept a buyout. And then obviously we see how that pays out at the end of the episode. But I want to talk about the kids here, with Johnathan and Jordan interacting with Sarah Cushing. I really love this grouping, I guess you could say here. Because, again, Jordan is totally into her. That's the character that I would totally be here. Like, any teenage girl shows up, I'm like, yeah, I'm into her. But also, by the way, so you know, I am a teenager. I'm not like an adult saying this. That'd be kind of messed up. But yeah. So they are trying to fix the internet, so they're trying to reset the router, and it's supposedly in the barn. So they go in there, and we get some more just cool interactions here. And Sarah actually invites them to a bonfire the next night, which is always a great thing. I'd love to go to something like that in my high school years. But that was pretty cool. And she actually gives her number not to Johnathan, but actually to Jordan. So you can tell that she is kind of into him as well, or at least she's giving off those vibes. Obviously, we see something else go on at the end of the episode. She's already in a relationship, and she's leading him on. How dare she? But Jordan decides to climb up the ladder because, he's feeling confident. She just gave him her number, so he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be all manly and climb up this ladder. So then he does, and then he falls down. Johnathan jumps on him to save him when a bunch of pipes fall down on him, and big crash and everything. And you'd think that, they're dead or something, but no, because they're the children of Superman, so of course they are fine. So then Clark goes in to save them and everything. And turns out once they get checked out by the doctors and everything, they just have mild concussions. But Jordan is questioning this. He's like, why? Like, how did we survive that? How did we get out of that with just mild concussions? And then this is also where we see Lois and Clark contemplating whether or not to tell the kids that he is Superman. And that's a big theme throughout the whole episode, really, here. But then General Lane shows up and shares some news that a new villain has arrived and has some sort of Kryptonian message. But obviously Clark needs to deal with family right now, so he can't go to do that. And he's got to deal with other stuff here. But Jordan and Johnathan, they decide, all right, let's go investigate. So they investigate the barn, and then this is where they actually find Clark's spaceship in the basement, and they're all freaking out. Jordan touches it, and then this, orange stone comes out of it, and I'm interested to find out what that is. Is that something similar to what we saw in Smallville with, I don't remember what it was called, but it was some sort of disc that was, in his spaceship or something. that could be like the key to something else there. So I'm interested to see what that orange stone thingy is. But obviously they're freaking out. So then when Clark and Lois get home, they have to tell them that he reveals everything. He is Superman. He shows them his powers, and obviously they're mad. They're very mad. But then Superman has to jump into action again because another nuclear facility is in trouble, and he doesn't really have a choice. Obviously, he just dropped that big bombshell on his kids, but I guess like give them some time to process and everything. So he goes off to do that while Jordan actually goes to the bonfire and meets up with Sarah. And I really love this whole moment because this was just a really cool scene. And we get some reveals from Sarah about her depression, how she tried to actually take her life, which is sad. But then Jordan is really feeling the moment here, and he kisses her. And I feel like that's probably, honestly, something I would do in the moment, too. I mean, like, she was giving off the vibes and everything, but then turns out she has a boyfriend, and he shows up and starts beating him up and everything. I was like, Sarah, why would you lead him on like that? That's just, like, how dare you? So then the boyfriend is beating up Jordan. Then Johnathan shows up to try and protect him, but then all the guys are beating up everybody, and it's just like this huge brawl. But then Jordan's powers kick in. So they were thinking that at least one of the boys has powers, and we were all thinking, oh, it's Johnathan because he has all these athletic skills and everything. But no, Jordan has the powers, and then he goes full on laser eyes. Luckily, he doesn't kill anybody, and nobody was able to figure out that was the cause of it. They don't know the cause of the explosion. But I love this moment because we weren't expecting it to be Jordan with the powers, and he's the one that's like struggling with more in his life, so it's definitely going to affect him more. And I really love also this relationship between Jordan and Johnathan, because it's like Johnathan keeps making fun of Jordan, but like in a fun, playful way, I guess you could say. It's like brotherly love. So I like seeing that. I love seeing their brotherly relationship here. So, and how like Johnathan was always willing to like jump in front of him and try to protect him and everything, even though Jordan is the one that actually has powers. So I love seeing that there. But then we flash back to Superman, who again is at that nuclear facility, and this villain that sent him the Kryptonian message is there, and we're going to call him the Stranger for now, because I think that's actually what he's officially called in the synopsis and stuff. So this villain is, the Stranger is here and knows a lot about Superman, and he says that his home was destroyed. And so then Superman, we get this cool chase scene and fight scene throughout Metropolis, and then even up into space, which was really awesome to see. But then the Stranger takes out this kryptonite and stabs Superman with kryptonite, which obviously is not good. But luckily, before he hits the ground, Superman is able to remove the kryptonite and, wake up. So he's all good there. But now the Stranger is gone, and he's not able to chase after him anymore. So then that's when he goes to the bonfire, picks up the kids. They have a big conversation about everything. And then Lois and Clark actually decide that they're going to move to Smallville officially. They're going to stay there permanently. I mean, like, maybe not forever, but at least for the foreseeable future. So, and I love how open Jordan and Johnathan are to this. Like, at the beginning of the episode, they were so, like, unhappy. And, well, like, Johnathan was doing pretty good. But now even Jordan, like, they all seem to be happy here in Smallville. So it makes sense that they would want to stay here because they're doing good with this life. So I really like seeing that. So you kind of get a happy ending with those characters. And then we get a bit of setup for the next episode and really the whole season overall, as we get our big cliffhanger of the episode where we see the Stranger. He is at this crazy base in the mountains. He walks in, takes off his helmet. You don't actually see his face, but we know the actor that's playing him, so we know what his face looks like and everything. And then his like AI system is saying like, oh, you need to do repairs, you need more kryptonite and stuff because that was your last supply there. But then it is revealed that his name is actually Captain Luther. And this is something most people actually knew from leaks. I knew it, so it wasn't a big reveal to me. But for people that didn't know, I bet that'd probably be a big reveal. So just a quick explanation. This is Lex Luthor, but then obviously not the John Cryer Lex Luthor that we've been seeing on Supergirl, because this is Lex Luthor from an alternate Earth. That's why he said that his homeworld was destroyed, or his home was gone, because he's from a different Earth. And it's been described that this is some sort of effect from Crisis on Infinite Earths, so I'm excited to see where this goes. Not exactly sure what they're going to do with this character, but I think it's a great opportunity because, you know, you can't really use the John Cryer Lex Luthor, which is the real Lex Luthor. So this is a cool way of having Lex Luthor as the main villain of the Superman show, just, you know, in a different way. So I think this is pretty cool and great reveal to end off the episode and set it for the rest of the season. But I can't wait for this, guys. I love this show. And then obviously next week The Flash starts as well. So it was like a double feature of the two best shows on the CW. So I can't wait for this, guys. I love Superman and Lois. This is a great show so far. I can't wait to see what else we see from this show. It looks like it's going to be a good first season. I just hope they can keep that up. You know, usually a lot of CW shows, like, they have a good first couple seasons, like The Flash, and then after that it starts to go downhill a little bit. Like, that first season of The Flash was god tier. 2 and 3 were pretty good. After that, But hopefully Superman and Lois can keep it up because it's great so far, and I absolutely love it. But guys, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about Superman and Lois, the first ever episode, the premiere here. So all your thoughts and theories in the comments below, and thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep up to date on everything